Without a doubt, JD Vance is one of the political leaders in America. I mean, he's the vice president. He is the second in command of the executive branch. And if something happens to Donald Trump, JD Vance becomes our president. And I've recently written every society rises or falls based on the quality of its leaders. What determines the qualities of those leaders? Their education or their lack of it. Now, I understand that JD Vance went to Yale Law School. I understand that he's a barred attorney. But what I can't understand is that as the vice president, he has allowed the president of the United States to slowly erode civil liberties. And I get that a lot of people who aren't educated, who aren't well read, don't understand that the Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, and Eighth Amendments apply to all people currently in the United States. The amendments don't say citizens. In fact, the word citizen only appears 5 times in the organic Constitution, and it only appears a total of 11 times when you include all of the amendments. Very specifically, the Bill of Rights does not use the word citizen. What's even scarier to me is that people on TikTok believe that the term citizen wasn't in use when the Constitution was written, despite the fact that the qualifications for the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the presidency all have a citizenship requirement. For the last several years, I've just been amazed at what's happening to American society, and I finally kind of figured out why. Did you know? Did you know 54% of Americans read at or below the 6th grade level? Did you know 1 in 5 read at the 3rd grade level? How can you possibly study the document that is the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, the Supreme Court decisions, if you can't read at a level that allows you to have functional literacy? Why is it that 54% of our population lacks the minimum reading level to actually support having a high school diploma? This is troubling to me. This is really, really troubling because if you can't read, you can't educate yourself. Frederick Douglass said, once you learn to read, you will be forever free. We have turned academia in America into like a dirty thing. I believe that we must fix the school system. We must fix American education. One of the things we need to focus on, schools shouldn't be preparing students for some nebulous, undefined future. Schools must become institutions that prepare children for more than jobs. They must forge students into citizens and instill them with the knowledge, values, and virtues necessary for an American society to thrive. And then it's the parents' responsibility to instill them with the virtues and values of their heritage. Or we can all finally agree that a country that's approaching 250 years old, American should be a culture. But until we're ready to do that, we must decide that the schools make citizens and the household makes the heritage. But more than that, we have to ensure that education is rooted in fact and truth and not political narrative. We need to ensure that children are getting education, not indoctrination. We have to make sure that schools don't become echo chambers of any one specific ideology. A successful graduate of an American high school should be neither a Democrat nor a Republican. They should be neither a liberal nor a conservative. What they should be is a citizen ready to recognize the strengths and weaknesses of both views. And then, as they enter into the world, they will find out, am I a liberal? Am I a conservative? Am I a Democrat? Am I a Republican? And if we could manage to do that, both the parties would have to improve, or all of those graduates would quickly find a third party would be a better solution. It is so important that America see this as a massive wake-up call. Because where does America draw its leadership from? From its populace. And right now, with 54% of the populace unable to read at above the 6th grade level, we're running out of people that can serve in leadership roles. And there's a lot of discussion how removing the Department of Education is going to make this work. I'm going to do another video on the Department of Education, but we have to focus on reforming schools because healthcare, poverty, homelessness, climate change, infrastructure, debt, If we don't fix schools and we don't improve the education of the populace, then discussions on all of those issues are shallow and incomplete because the populace can't understand them. Now, leadership, a functional democratic republic of the people, by the people, and for the people, requires the citizenry to know the difference between movement for the sake of movement, progress, and decline. And right now, I think everyone would agree we're declining, but more than half the population is okay with eroding civil rights, eroding civil liberties. We have a problem that in order to lead people, they have to be leadable. And right now, I don't think the American population is. But what's even worse is who is going to be the leadership in 40 years? Who is going to carry this country to its next 250 years? Because I don't think we're producing anybody capable of that.